Okay, so we are currently live. This is the first time I'm doing a live stream. I'm using the OBS software, so let's see how it goes. Just gotta make sure everything is working well. Hello. So this is the first time I'm doing a stream. So bear with me. How's it going? How do you pronounce your name? Mod? Hello. So this is the first time I'm doing. If you can hear me well, just let me know in the chat. You can just send a message. You got to make sure you're subscribed in order to actually send that message. Make sure to subscribe so I can see all your chats. I wanted to put the chat box onto the live stream itself, but I'm just not able to figure out how to do that. If any of you know, let me know. I've been using a software called Stream Elements, not working. So yeah, that's that. So this is the current setup. You know, got the webcam on the right, got the trading view over there, and then got a couple of things funded next, and this new thing I'm trying to get out to the open, the Prop Scaler, which is a free trading community, free podcasts. Just want to give value, so great. How's it going, Zoom Zoom? What was it, Zoom? That's surely not your actual name. So yeah, good. So we've got 4 of you watching. Obviously, this is the first time I'm doing it. We just started the stream 3 minutes ago. My current funded situation. So, in short, I was funded 7 figures, but unfortunately, the prop firms I was trading with, they closed down. My forex funds. There was some good news with them that they actually won that case. So hopefully we do get our funding back, because I had 600k in funding there. I was funded with True Forex Funds and Smart Prop Trader. Those closed down. So since the start-ish of this year, I've been trying to get my funding back. I'm funded 100k with FTMO. Currently taking another 100k with Funded Next. Both accounts are in some drawdown, so I've been doing a lot of reflecting with my trading, and even though I know I'm a profitable trader, I get into a lot of losing streaks, and I've come to realize that maybe I should limit the number of pairs I'm trading so those losing streaks are not so long, and maybe even risk a little bit more per trade with the instrument I'm trading, if that makes sense. In short, I'm funded 100k currently with FTMO. I plan to take more challenges and increase that funding. So yeah. Again, the others that are watching, make sure to subscribe, so you can make sure you can enter the chat. Yeah, great. So, um, cool. We got some more people joining. Make sure to send a chat. To make sure to subscribe, so you can send a chat through. If you can send that chat through, that'd be great. Just so I make sure that I know you guys are watching and can see what I'm doing. Love, how's it going? If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize. Um, do I trade SMC? So, yes and no. I think there's a form of SMC in everything we trade. Like, um, I learned from Guerrilla Trading. I don't know if you know the community. They've closed down now, unfortunately. I'm not going to go into that whole case. But even if we take the flag, okay, let's take the flag. Okay, if we take the flag entry, that's essentially a liquidity grab on the lower time frames, and then you look to go long when you get that bullish candle. But really, that's a change in character, most likely on the lower time frames. So there's always a form of SMC, I feel, in all strategies you trade. But I'm currently not trading flags anymore. My strategy's kind of changed. I kind of look for a range, and then I look for a liquidity sweep, and then I would take that short reversal. So that's currently my primary strategy that I'm doing right now. But yeah, what do you trade, though? I'd be interested to hear. If everyone could just let me know if the stream setup is good, that would be great. This is the first time I'm doing it. Mode, you said, yeah, great. It takes time. Watching your progress. Yeah, I appreciate it. I've had a crazy journey, I think, since the start of, starting my YouTube. I documented my journey from the very beginning. If you're new to the channel, watching the stream, you can look back. I was not profitable at all, starting from the very beginning. And you can see all the payouts I made, all the challenges I've passed. And, yeah, got to 7 figures. Then I actually started a venture, Karma Prop Traders. Pretty sure you guys, if you know me, you would have known I started that. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. It got acquired by Sway Funded. Really appreciate them. They made sure all the payouts were paid out and all the traders were taken care of. But since then, now my goal is to get back to that 7 figures, because the 7 figures I was trading, those prop firms closed down. So I'm only going with reliable prop firms, FTMO, then Funded Next, I'm currently trading with. Any other reliable prop firms you guys think I should try? Let me know. I'd be interested to hear. It is just when have bought my first prop. What do you mean by that, Vic? Bit confused there. And again, if you want to send a message, you got to make sure you're subscribed so I can see what you're messaging. The point of these streams, I want to do this honestly daily. A backtesting session. I'm also going to start doing a live session. So as you can see on my watch list, there's AUD USD, Euro USD, and NASDAQ futures. So I'm starting to get into NASDAQ futures, because I want to start trading with futures props. And in regards to AUD USD and Euro USD, I was trading more pairs, but I've decided to limit my pairs, and I'm going to take a different approach. I'm actually going to trade each prop firm with one instrument. What that does in my mind is, let's take AUD USD. AUD USD, I might get into a 5 streak losing streak. If I add Euro USD onto that, that increases the potential of losing streak. So I'd rather keep each instrument I trade to one prop firm, if that makes sense. I'm going to take that approach, and I'm actually going to risk a little bit more per trade for that instrument. So I feel that diversifies my risk by taking that approach. So if you take Euro USD and NASDAQ, the primary time to get into those markets is the New York Open, London time, that kind of window. And the previous strategy I traded, we didn't really take into sessions into account. So I think it's really important you take sessions into account, because that's where you see most of the movements. So I'm going on a bit of a rant, but if you go to babypips.com, I think it's a great place to start, and it's got a really cool tool. Okay, it's got, if you look at the tools, you can see Forex market hours. Okay, so what's the purpose of this? Here, I've got Brisbane time. Actually, I'm based in Melbourne, but you got Brisbane time here. I can see in detail when the Sydney Open is, Tokyo Open, when London Open is, and when New York Open is. This is a really good tool. So if you're confused about session times, just go to babypips.com and go to tools, and then go to Forex market hours. So when you see this, you can see there's a volume indicator here below. The best time to get in, the volume, you see the most volume in the market is during that London and New York time when they sync together. So this is where you want to get into the market. And the pairs that move the most during that time is Euro USD, NASDAQ, these kind of pairs, even AUD USD. Now, AUD USD, I want to trade that with one strategy, and Euro USD and NASDAQ, I want to trade that with another. Pardon me. So the strategy I already know, I'm going to implement that on AUD USD, and the new strategy I want to backtest. This is where I take into account, that session time. That's going to be something on the backtest, fresh and new. On this stream, I'm going to backtest a bit of AUD USD, so you guys can see the current strategy I'm trading. But yeah, that's my thought process on how I'm going to go about, trading moving forward. I'm actually going to do a little bit more practice before I actually start purchasing more challenges. I'm going on a bit of a rant. So Vic says 5%ers. Yeah, 5%ers is a great prop firm. I actually made a video recently talking about prop firms that you can scale with, and you do the trade copying with, and 5%ers is one of those prop firms, so very reliable. Where we talk about consistency rules. I lost my account due to this rule. Some firms are using it, pay on demand. Yeah, consistency rules, you start to see them more on, futures firms, and also one-step challenges. I think when it comes to that, I made a video on this, so you can make sure to watch that. But essentially, it means you can't have most of your profit on one single day. And what the purpose of that is that prop firms want to essentially see you make many profitable days rather than the big winning trade. Now, this is a con for swing traders, because swing traders tend to make big, how do I explain it? They tend to make a big trade, let's say a 1 to 6 on one trade, rather than the traditional scalper day trader that might make a 1 to 2. So this is attractive to those that are, the scalpers or the day traders, maybe going for 1 to 2, 1 to 3, but it's not really attractive to those swing traders. So a way to alleviate that is risk management. Make sure to watch one of the videos. I've kind of talked about this, but it really comes down to your risk to reward ratio. You know, not going for big R's, you know, risk to reward ratios, and making sure your risk management, the risk per trade, is on lock. So I hope that answers your question, Mode. Any questions, please let me know. Make sure you're subscribed so you can message and send me a message so I can actually reply. Again, is everything all right in terms of the stream? If you can just give me a thumbs up, that would be great. This is a time where you give me a thumbs up. You got to make sure you're subscribed again. And what I think we'll do, I'm going to make the assumption that you guys can hear me and everything is good. I think we'll do a bit of back testing. So what we'll do is I'm just going to do a chill back testing session on TradingView itself. You know, I do like to use TradeSeller, but I think let's keep it on TradingView for now. So what we'll do is, with this strategy, it's purely the 1 hour time zone, okay? AUD USD, 1 hour time zone, and the theory behind this strategy, okay? The theory behind the strategy, if I can get the pencil tool. Where is the tool? Brush, okay. The theory behind the strategy is I need to see a range and I need to see a liquidity sweep and then push down. Now again, I personally don't like to just use a liquidity sweep. I want to see it kind of respecting a demand zone, a supply zone, in this case a supply zone. And something I'm going to additionally backtest in this is I'm going to add another confluence. So this is going to be new for me in this backtesting. I need to see it reject a supply zone, demand zone, or it could even reject a fair value gap. So I'm going to add that into this backtesting session. So essentially I need to see a range between the high and the low. I need to see price take out that high. So in this case, the high, so it's a liquidity sweep, and it needs to respect a supply zone in this case, or it can respect a fair value gap. So that's what I'm going to backtest now. So let's go for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. And backtesting can be really chill, can be really fun. You know, make it as loose as possible. What I'll do is I'm on the replay tool. Let's go back all the way. Let's go back a bit. If anyone wants to let me know a random date to go to in specific, I can. But for now, I may go back to 20... Let's see. Yeah, let's do Jan 2023. Okay. So let's make sure it starts. Okay, so we're in Jan. Great. I'm going to switch this to London time because I'm used to backtesting on London time. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get used to trading the fact that I'm in Aussie time. So I'm going to do that. And a cool indicator for you guys to see is this one. It's called a Lux Algo. It's some indicator you find on TradingView, and you can mark the different trading sessions. And I think that's really cool to see because you ideally want to get into those high volume trading sessions because then the trade will be higher probability. So I think that's something we can look into with the backtesting. I'm going to still take trades if it's not in the ideal time frame, if you know what I mean. But we can see in terms of results how it goes. What time frame do I use? So for the strategy that I know and I use, that I'm going to stick to AUD USD with, it's a 1 hour time zone. It's just a 1 hour time zone. So it's a very simple strategy, and you can also just learn it on the stream. Any questions, let me know. I'm giving everything out for free because I just want to give value to you guys. But the strategy that I want to backtest and learn and implement is going to be multi-time frame. It's going to be 1 hour and use the 5 minute to enter. That will be for Euro USD and for NASDAQ futures. But for this strategy in particular, it's just the 1 hour time frame. So very simple. You could even pull out your TradingView with me and backtest and learn this with me. Very simple strategy. We aim for a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. So just aim for 1 to 3. So I risk 1% to gain 3%. The probabilities with this strategy tends to be on the 35 to 40% win rate. But it does do the job. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a glass of water. So if you want to get a glass of water, you can do that. I will be back. Okay, I'm back. Actually, wait, I'm not back. Let me bring my water here. Can you guys all hear me good? I can see there's a few of you on the stream. Again, if you're new, this is my first stream. So if you're okay with the layout, if you like, the audio is good, just let me know. Any improvements, let me know. I'm happy to improve it because this is the first time I'm doing it. I'm using OBS. I used to use StreamYard, but I believe OBS... Oh, my webcam is gone. Great. I used to use a software called StreamYard, but I think this is just more advanced. Is everyone ready to go with me backtesting? Again, you got to subscribe in order to send a message so I can see it, because it's on subscriber only mode. I can see Mode, Vic, you guys are there, so just give me a thumbs up. That'd be great. And I think the stream is a little delayed, to be fair. I think it's around a 15-second delay, 20-second delay, so I kind of can't see your responses as soon as you send it. So, forgive me there. Cool, let's get into it then. What's happened to my trading view? Okay. So let's get into it then. So I'm gonna start backtesting. So alright, what's my average risk to reward ratio win rate? So See, the thing is, my strategy has changed over time, so the statistics have they're not as accurate as they should be. But for the strategy, my risk to reward ratio is set. Voice is low, bro. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Okay. How can I increase this? Okay. Okay, is the audio better now? Jargon. Is the audio better now? Just let me know. I know the stream seems a little delayed, like by 15 seconds. So I'm going to continue. If it is not good, let me know. But again, answering you mode, the risk to reward ratio SS. Does that mean better? So the average risk to reward ratio win rate, 1 to 3 fixed risk to reward ratio, and win rate is around 35 to 40%. And average losing streak for a given pair will be around 5 trades. So that's why I've realized it's best to limit the amount of instruments I'm trading. And I'm again going to approach prop firms very differently now. It's a new methodology that I think I've just come up with, where if it's AUD USD, I'm going to pick one prop firm and trade AUD USD. If it's Euro USD, I'm going to pick one prop firm and that's it. If I'm trading futures, I'm trading NASDAQ and that's it. So that's my approach now, and how I'm going to go about things. So let's get into the backtesting session, because I think I've just blabbered a lot. Jargon, is my volume better now? Just let me know there. Again, I'm also, something exciting, I'm going to stream on the Funded Next Discord server. That's happening in around 6 hours time from now. So that would be quite cool. So you can make sure to join the Funded Next Discord, and I'll be streaming over there as well. I really like Funded Next. You got FTMO, which, arguably number one. And then for me, where Funded FTMO kind of let me down is they're great, but they don't provide that variety, and also they have that high profit target. So for me, Funded Next gives us variety. You got the 15% profit share. I really like it. They've gone to futures. I feel Funded Next are that really, really modern prop firm that are really listening to the traders. So that's why you can see there's a little banner over there showing that, I do really like Funded Next. And if you want to join them, you can use the discount code ESHANBALA. You can even use futures with them. I'm going to use them for futures trading as well. Could you please discuss about VPS and trading FTMO from US? Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. That's all I'm going to say. Voice is better now? Good. So yeah, don't trade from the US FTMO. If they say you can't do it, don't do it. Like, using a VPS is you trying to game them, but it's just not the way. Just don't. There are other prop firms you can use, so just don't use FTMO. Apex, I don't know of Apex. I've never used them. If you guys want me to try them out, happy to do so. Yeah, diversification is very important. Yes, volume is now. Okay, good, great, cool. Okay, I think let's get into the stream. So what we'll do is I'm going to start backtesting. So I'm going to put a vertical line 1 day before. Okay. Hey, where did the line go? Okay, vertical line. Okay, so this is where the month starts for January. So I'm going to backtest from here, and let's see how it goes. So let's start backtesting. So I keep the strategy very casual. We're currently ranging between this high and this low. So let's see what happens. So it's still currently ranging, and we broke this high over here. I'll mark it out for you guys so you guys can see my thought process. So price broke the high, it took out liquidity. Let me put that in the middle. So it took out liquidity and rejected. Now, with this trading strategy, you could take a trade here. Okay, and you can keep your stop loss fixed. I'm going to start keeping it, I'll just keep it at 12. But if it's less than, like, I'll keep it at 12 or usually above this high. And you target a 1, 2, 3. That's kind of the strategy there. But I want to see some sort of rejection off a supply zone in this case. So over here, you can see some supply is there. So you drag that supply zone here. And it's still respecting it. So I'm happy to take this trade. It's respecting supply. We also have a fair value gap over here. I don't know if you guys can see that. But in this case, I'm going to use the supply zone. It's still technically respecting it. And we've taken out liquidity and then we're taking the rejection. Now, I'm not taking into consideration market structure because in this case, market structure for me is still bullish. I don't know if you guys can see that. But in this strategy, in this backtesting session, I'm not taking that into account. I'm just taking into account what I see. It's taking out the range, takes out liquidity, and it's rejected from a supply zone. So I'm going to take this trade. Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, look at that. Okay, so it literally, you see on the live stream right here. So it literally just took, profit, straight away took our profit, which is great. And then we continue. We're not looking for more profit. We're looking to just continue. I'm going to look at the chat because I've not looked at the chat for a bit. Actually, other prop firms have less flexibility and also don't provide copy trades. That's very true. When doing a lot of research, I found, you got FTMO, 5% is alpha. Even though I really like Funded Next, they don't provide trade copying. But honestly, the more I think about this, you don't need so many prop firms to scale. You really don't. You just need 1, 2 prop firms to really get yourself going, max those prop firms out, and then move on to the next. If you look like Funded Next, I believe they allow trade copying within the challenge stage, but not the funded. So you can scale those challenge accounts with most of these prop firms, and then you can kind of trade the funded accounts separately. What backtesting software is this? This is TradingView. This is TradingView. Cool. Alrighty, so let's continue. So let's just continue backtesting. Okay, price actually ended up tanking, but we had that fixed 1 to 3. Okay, now we currently have a range going on. The price So for me, price is really pushed up. Unless I get a strong bearish rejection, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in taking a trade. So price is really pushed up now. And let's see when, so see that trade for AUD USD was during the Sydney and Tokyo session coming together. So, which is a higher probability trade than to just take it during the Sydney session. So we can see here, Sydney and Tokyo is not the highest volume, but for AUD USD, it's not a bad place to take a trade. But you can see kind of the logic there that this trade happened during Sydney and Tokyo sessions coming together. Cool, so we continue. So for me, price is kind of nowhere now. Spidey Capitals. I joined late the backtesting session. We are discussing. Have we already discussed about the strategy, or you've unloaded any strategy video based? Yeah, so this is, I explained in the beginning of the stream, but essentially, again, I'm just going to quickly explain it. The logic is we wait for a range, liquidity sweep, has to respect a supply zone or fair value gap. I don't know if anyone has kind of, I think this is almost my own strategy. Like it's a cultivation of learning from different communities where, you know, 1 hour time zone, I wait for a liquidity sweep, and it also has to respect a supply zone in this case or a fair value gap. So that's the strategy I'm backtesting right now. Hope that answers the questions, buddy. Okay, cool. So currently we have a little bit of range going on. Okay, price takes out liquidity here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Taking out liquidity. My backtesting, oh, I've just realized backtesting while streaming, I'm very slow. Usually I'm much faster than this, but I want to explain everything as I go. So, liquidity sweep, and are we respecting anything? We are respecting, I'd like to say this is my demand zone over here. So respecting a demand zone for sweep liquidity, and we've got that bullish rejection. So I do not mind taking a trade here. I'm not taking into consideration what time of the day it is. I'm just going to place these trades. So for me, I will place it just under this low, and I'll go for 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's see what happens. Okay, it's taking me out. Great, that's fine. Something also I probably should have done it before this trade, actually, to be fair. There's something I think I'm going to implement. You know what? Don't hold it against me. Something I want to implement is reducing my risk to... Actually, you know, leave it. I'm not going to do that. I was going to say I'm going to reduce my risk to break even once it gets to 1 hour. But I think with this strategy, it's better to just fix it. So I'm just going to keep it like that. For the new strategy that I'm going to do on EU and NQ1, and NASDAQ futures, I'm going to make it a habit to put my stop loss to break even once it gets to 1 hour. Just because I think that will psychologically help me, especially when I'm trading New York Open and I'm trading the 5 minute. I think that'll be really good for my psychology. But when I'm trading the 1 hour time zone and I'm just trading AU, I think I'll just leave it. Because there are many times with this strategy, it gets back to break even and then it just like bounces up. So in this case, it went to 1.42, but I think we'll just take the loss there. So that's fine. We'll continue. Any questions? Let me know. I'm going to keep these streams very casual. You know, I just want to, what's the word? Like, I really want to get, you know, connect with you guys, you know, give value to you guys. And, you know, I'm still on my trading journey. I'm not the best trader. I've gone through ups and downs. I have no idea why it's doing that. Okay. So, like, I'm still on a journey myself. I'm rebuilding my capital. I'm getting into futures. So even though I've gotten paid out over 6 figures from prop firms, you know, I'm still on my journey. I'm still beginning my journey. I want to be that trader that's getting 7 figures in prop firm capital and beyond. But more importantly, I want to really get consistent payouts and really stack up my capital. No worries, Spidey Capital. I'm going to call you Spider-Man. No worries, Spider-Man. It's, you know, want to give value here. So, yeah. Only thing I'd say is like, subscribe. You're obviously subscribed because you wouldn't be able to chat over here. But, yeah, just let others know about the stream if they want to learn from me, be a part of the journey. I'm going to stream every single day. Whether I'm going to do it twice a day, I'm really going to up the content, the streaming content. Yeah, I just feel like it'd be better value for all of you if I'm just streaming and you can just ask me questions on the stream. And maybe even you can make this part of your routine. I'm back testing. You can back test with me. We crack open a drink and just make it very chill. Hi, please show me one of your high probability strategy in the chart. So, okay, I feel like we can, you know, that's a whole conversation, but there's a guy called Griff Trades, brilliant trader. I learned from the same community, Guerrilla Trading, and we got really close. You know, we were part of an accountability group. He goes in detail about this, and I've actually, a lot of my winning trades in the past are this strategy. He goes into it in detail. You can see a lot of my trade recaps. I go into it. But essentially, a really high probability setup, and I'm talking like 60+%, might be even more, is where it's almost like accumulating in an ascending manner. It's not really trending up like impulsively, but it's trending it correctively. And then you get a strong push down and you look for that entry almost at a supply zone from this ascending accumulation, because price wants to take out all this liquidity. So you take the entry here and you know that's the entry. So that's almost like an ascending reversal, descending reversal pattern. But yeah, that's what it is in short. Wanted to ask, have you noticed a change in nature of gold, especially in New York session? Honestly, just to be completely honest, I have not been looking so much at gold. But in terms of, you know, tariffs and what's going on in the US, definitely volatility will be there. So if you're saying, yeah, 3-4 points max these days, yeah, you know, there will be a lot of volatility, especially nowadays, in terms of gold, trading, USD pairs. Not so much USD pairs. I think Forex is more stabilized. Gold is a bit different. But yeah, volatility will be expected. Yeah, look, if it's not fitting your trading strategy, just don't trade. You know, not taking a trade is taking a trade. Not taking a trade is taking a trade. You're essentially taking break-even trades. Yep. actually no, you're essentially making money because you're not taking losing trades. So sometimes sitting on your hands is making you money. Again, if you want to send a chat through, ask me a question, anything, you got to subscribe in order to actually send that message. I'm going to go and put my heater on. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I know the stream, I think, is like 15 seconds delayed. I don't know how to fix that. On YouTube, it tells me my connection is excellent, but I think this is just how streams are. Again, this is my first stream on OBS. So let's continue. I think I don't know how long the stream has gone for, but I feel like I'm just waffling. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, non-bus, how's it going? What are these names, man? Spidey Capitals, non-bus. Non-bus, it's like you're just not a bus. Okay, yeah. Again, this strategy, in short, because I know some of you guys are coming new to the stream, leaving, coming new. So this is a 1 hour strategy, looking just for a range, a liquidity sweep, taps into a fair value gap or a supply or demand, take that entry. Everything's just on the 1 hour time frame. Very simple. So this technically would be a flag entry. Okay. This is bullish. Okay, if you want to see if a candle's... Okay, this is a good tip. If you want to see a candle's bullish or bearish, you can't tell with this doji, right? What you want to do is you want to go to the top left over here, and you can see this, right? It says open, high, low, close. So in this case, if the open is lower than the close, if the open is lower than the close, then you got a bullish candle. So in this case, open is 67291, close is 67294. So this is bullish. So I am going to respect the strategy in this case, and see this is rejecting from a demand zone. Okay, we've got that liquidity sweep. Actually, I don't know if it's the wrong time of day. Yeah, this is not the right time of day to take a trade. Okay, never mind. London time, what it is? What is it? Because I'm so used to London time on my charts. London, what time would it be? 12 p.m. Friday. You know what? I'd still take the trade technically. So put it back to, yeah. So I would technically still take the trade. It's respecting the demand zone. You got a fair value gap over here as well. But for me, I just want to see where it reacts, right? So it is technically, I don't know if it's invalidated the fair value gap to be fair, but it's respecting a demand zone. It's sweeping liquidity. Yep, you got a sweep of liquidity. I'm gonna add that in there. And you got that doji candle, but it's slightly bullish, so I'm happy to take it. So I've already put that tool. So I'm gonna put it, so see in this case, I don't like to have too much of a small stop loss. I could be a little bit more lenient and give myself that full demand zone. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna aim for a 1, 2, 3 over here. So again, I'm not looking at the whole market structure, even though overall I think we're still bullish, but it's kind of taking that major pullback. So it's either going to break market structure and go bearish, or it's going to pull towards outside. What tips you give for wins in backtesting but loss in live? Right. Do you hear any background noise? Let me know. I've just got my heater on. It's quite cold here in Aussie. What tips do you give for wins in backtesting but loss in live? Now that's a very open-ended question, Lush. Lush Rainfall. What are these names? What are these names? All right, Lush Rainfall. So if you're winning in backtesting but not losing in live, the first question I'd ask you is, are you losing in your backtesting as well? Okay, that's the first question I'd ask you. So let me know your answer there. I'm interested to hear that, and then I'll give you the next kind of answer there. You know what? I'll just answer it. So if you're winning in backtesting only, you're only winning, and you're losing in live, that means you're not being honest in your backtesting. Because in backtesting, it's very normal to lose trades. Like you can see here, I just lost a trade. Right. So you're saying yes, you're backtesting, you're winning only, and you're only losing in live. So that means you're not honest in your backtesting. You know, you might have taken this loss and then you delete it and you act like nothing ever happened. So you have got to be first thing I'd say is you need to be honest in your backtesting. You have your strategy, you understand your strategy. If you're confused with it, have it written down and you follow it. Now, I don't have it written down because I just know it. I've come to that point where I just know my strategy. But you just got to, you know, you got to be honest in your backtesting. So just keep that in mind. Be honest. So the results you get in backtesting will reflect in your live trading. Okay, so let's take this trade 1, 2, 3 risk to reward ratio. I'll quickly answer this. Pradeep, how's it going? The first normal name here. Any backtesting software you use? If I'm casually backtesting, you know, I like to use TradingView, but if you really want that in-depth statistics, I think for the next stream I'm going to do it. I do use TradeZella. So TradeZella gives you that full statistics. Let me get it out for you guys. TradeZella. Brilliant software. You know, created by Umar Shroff, legit trader. So yeah, you can use TradeZella. But yeah, if you want to just casually backtest, you can use TradingView. But honestly, if I'm recommending a software to first get, as you can go either way. TradeZilla is like really in depth and gives you all the answers. But I think if you're starting out, I think I'd recommend as a beginner, go for TradingView, get an Excel sheet. But as you advance, I'd use TradeZilla. But TradeZilla is a brilliant answer, brilliant option. All right, let's take this trade. Oh, look at that. Cool. Okay, brilliant. So it's respected the demand zone, takes out liquidity, and we have a winning trade. So that's great. So I'm not looking for more profit. Just wanted that reaction. So let's move on. Okay. Moved higher. And we continue. Should I get some music in this in the stream? Maybe that'll make it more chill. Okay, now we're ranging a little bit. I don't particularly like the sweeps with just a wick. I want to see it taken out with like a full candle, like in this example, or this one, and then a rejection. So for me, this is not. I don't really want to take that. Share me your experience on this. Do you think MKT has already given good rally before New York? What's MKT? Market. Okay. If market has already given a good rally before New York session, we could expect choppy or low momentum in New York session. What pair are you asking me about? Are you asking me about EURUSD? You're asking me about NASDAQ futures, like, what are you asking me about? So you could take this trade, but as mentioned, I think I want to see like a candle taking it out. So yeah, I've saved myself a loss there. Whoops, I pressed the candles too fast. Okay, so here, okay, so we've got a liquidity sweep. Are we respecting? Actually, can't take this trade. It didn't really push down the way I wanted it, as I just explained, so I'm not taking that trade. For me, it's not a trade to take. No. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have a liquidity sweep here between this high and this low. Okay. Could someone let me know how long this stream has been going on for? That'd be appreciated. Lush Rainfall. Sorry, first Spider-Man. NAS futures and gold. I think, I won't comment on that. I'm actually going to be streaming on the Funded Next Discord at 10 p.m. my time, which is New York Open. So I think we can chat about that there. But Lush Rainfall, I have a problem. Like when I'm backtesting, I know I'm losing and winning, but I have 75% win rate in backtesting. When I lose 5 trades in a row, in live, I just stop trading for a while. You got to make sure the strategy, number one, be honest with yourself in backtesting, and number two, you just got to you've just got to be real with yourself with statistics. If you're losing 5 trades in backtesting, expect it in your live trading. It can happen. So if you're not okay with the frequency of trades you're taking and the amount you're losing at one given time, maybe you need to alter your strategy a bit. Because anyone can backtest, but to implement a live trading, you got to see what works for you and what doesn't. Or what you have to change in your mindset to make it better and to work. You know, from Sri Lanka? Great, amazing, man. I love Sri Lanka. You know, I'm ethnically from there. Yeah, just love Sri Lanka. It's like my home. Love Sri Lanka. TradingView only provides 10K historical bars. I want to backtest 1 year data on 5-minute time. So in that case, Pradeep, I'm quite sure you'll be able to do that with TradeZella. And that's where I'm pretty sure you can. I actually haven't checked, but I've gone quite far in my backtesting with other pairs. So that's why from tomorrow when I live stream, do a backtesting session, I'm going to do with Euro USD, NASDAQ. I'm going to use TradeZilla for that purpose. So good question, Pradeep. Okay, so we've ranged, taken our liquidity, got the bearish candle, but I need to see if we're rejecting from some sort of supply or some fair value gap. Okay, we see over here. So we have got this supply over here. Are we rejecting from it? Let's just see. Yes, we are rejecting from a supply. So I am going to take this trade, but I'm going to make sure it's not spread hours, because I'm used to backtesting on the London time zone. I've got to check. Spread hours is between 9 and 11 p.m. London time. So what that essentially means is that spreads widen, and you just don't want to get into positions that time because you get in at a really bad price. Price can take you out for a loss. So 9 to 11 London time, you don't want to get into the markets. Just keep wary of that. Am I blind? Because I cannot see London. Okay. Okay, it's 9 a.m. Friday London time, so it's not spread hours. Great. So I'm happy to take this trade. I think this is a good trade to take. We have ranging, takes out liquidity, got the bearish rejection, and we are rejecting from a supply zone. 1 to 3. I'm going to place my stop loss just above the candle. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm not having the mindset that I need to win this trade. I need to win this trade. No. I follow my strategy and see what happens. So, let's see. Okay, got a bit of push. Okay. This is almost like a set and forget, you know, like I'm not moving my stop loss to break even, not doing any of that. Okay, it takes me out. Now, what would you have done? Okay, this came to 2.66% and came back and took me out. What would you have done in your live trading? And what would you have done in your back testing? Would you be like, actually, I would have taken profit here in real life, so I'm gonna act like that was a winning trade for me? Is that the type of person you are? Is that what you do in your live trading? If you were to take this fixed 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade, and you are at 2.66 over here, would you just take profit? Well, what would you do there? I'm curious to hear. Because for me, my back testing, it shows it's taking me out. Now, obviously, with prop firms, you approach it differently. Like, if I got a 2.5% and I'm a little bit away from my profit target, maybe I might take my profit out. But in most cases, actually, wait, this is 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, it's still like 1 p.m. UK time. So I would have held it. Only case you would take it out early is if it's like coming towards the end of the day, you know, on Friday, or it's coming towards spread hours and you want to take the trade out. Profit. Yeah, but for me, this is a loss. It's a loss. Okay. I'm going to just make this look nice. Okay, we've got a nice range. Cool. So, looks like we got another opportunity here. So, we're respecting this demand zone. We've taken out liquidity. Let's put it there. So we're ranging. You can see between this most recent high, this most recent low. We're ranging. We take out liquidity. We respect the demand zone, and we got a bullish candle confirmation. That's enough confluence for me to take a trade. Let's take a long trade. Is the audio all good, guys? Please let me know in the chat. Again, if you're new to the stream, you got to subscribe in order to send me a message, and I will answer all your questions. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So technically, we're aiming for this structure high. So it's 1 to 3. Let's see what happens. And I want to make sure it's not during spread hours. So let's take London, 11 a.m. Cool. Good time to take a trade. Let's see what happens. Cool. So I hit and take a profit, which is great. And this strategy is quite a, it's quite a high frequent strategy. I've taken 5 trades. Taken 5 trades on one single pair, and it's 18 days past. So for me, it's quite a frequent strategy. It's not every day, but I think it's a good strategy. Okay. So for me, this is not technically ranging enough because internally within the structure, this is what I'm refining with this backtesting session. Within the structure, it's almost like it's still pushing up. I like to see a proper range that's going on. So, doesn't fit my plan, not entering to trade. Spider-Man, thank you for telling me my audio is good. We ended up pushing down. Again, in that scenario, what would you do? Would you be like, hey, actually, I would take that trade, and then you would enter the short over here and act like you would have taken it? What would you do? You got to make sure you be really honest with yourself. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that, especially since I'm on live stream. Okay. Any questions, guys? Just fire them through. I think we'll end this live stream as we finish this backtesting month. We didn't really go through a lot of data, but we'll go through it and we'll finish the month, and you can wrap up the session with any questions you have, because I'm gonna answer it. Nah, this is not good enough for me, because we're not ranging, we're descending and then pushing up. I need to see a proper range. Okay, this might be, I think I might take this trade. So this trade here, let's just make sure the time of day is good first. London, 2 a.m. Sure, okay. Okay, this may not be the prettiest trade, but I'm going to take it. Takes out liquidity. Top. We're respecting this supply over here. We're still respecting it. We got the bearish confirmation there. So what I'll do is I will enter. I could be very cheeky and put like an 8 what you call an 8 pip stop loss, but I think that's being a bit too much. What I'll do, but I also don't want to keep it too high. So what I'll do is I'll find the equilibrium of this. No, I didn't take that. I think in this case I'll just keep it at a fixed 12 pip. If I can get it there. Let's keep it at a fixed 12 pip. And then this will aim for a 1 to 3. So let's see what happens. And also, as another confluence, we do have this bit of an ascending nature going on. So we got a lot of liquidity onto here, which we can kind of take. So let's see. Price could easily just take me out though. Saved. but in many cases, spreads might even take me out there. But I take into consideration spreads. Another very important point, when you're taking trades, you got to take into account spreads that will happen. You can't trade it as if you're backtesting. So you got to take into spreads into account. Okay, cool. This has been a very good month. So it takes my profit actually just shoots right back up. But it took my profit, so 1 to 3. It's a really good trade. Happy with that trade. Okay. I've got a liquidity sweep over here. It just, let me see if it actually closes above. Wait. It's very important that I see price actually close above the sweep for me to actually consider it. So we've got the open over here at 70992. And here we close 7-1. So we close above, so I don't mind. But I do like to see it with a bit more conviction. Yeah, maybe not. I think maybe I'd like to see a bit more of a close up. So I'm not going to take this trade. I'm being very strict with myself with the strategy. Very, very strict. Okay, we got a nice range going on. Let's see if we can take advantage of it. Still ranging. Again, any questions, please let me know. Which time interval do you usually trade between? I'm from Nepal. So this is changing for me. You know, when I made a lot of payouts with prop firms, you know, getting over 6 figures in payouts. Let me drink some water. Over 6 figures in payouts, I would trade, honestly, I wouldn't care about what time I traded. I traded the 1 hour time zone, waited for the last 5 minutes of each candle, checked my phone, placed a trade. And I'd also have to wake up at 2:55 in the morning, 3 in the morning to potentially take a trade. Now, what I've come to realize, I'm going to show baby pips again, is volume is what you have to look for in the market. Volume is really important. Now, with this strategy in particular, I'm not caring about it, but with the strategy, I'm going to be back testing on the Euro USD on NASDAQ futures. It does matter. So for Euro USD NASDAQ, it's very important for you to trade during the New York Open, and that's where London session is still happening because you get the volume. You can see in the indicator here, that's where you can see the volume during the New York time and the London time where they're both intersecting. That's where it's like the most volume. So to answer your question, usually around in Aussie time, it'd be 10 p.m. It's the ideal kind of that 10 to 12 a.m. That's the ideal time. So for me, I'm starting to, with AUD USD, I'll trade it the way I've been trading it. But for the new strategy I'm going to backtest for EU and for NASDAQ futures, I'm going to focus on the 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Aussie time kind of zone to get into higher probability setups. But again, okay, let's see if we get that bullish candle. Okay, we got a bullish candle. closed. Let's see. Got a range. Got a liquidity sweep. Liquidity sweep. Then are we respecting any demand zone? We do have a little bit of a push up here, so I'm gonna take this as my demand zone. So we are respecting it. No fair value gaps to respect. And we got that bullish rejection. Let's just make sure it's the right time of day. Meaning right time of day. When I say that, I mean it has to be not spread hours. So let's see, London. It is 9 It's going to be 10 a.m. for London time. So I do not mind taking this. The lower probability setups tend to happen usually on Monday because there's not too much volume. But with this strategy, I'm going to back test, not really looking at the times besides spread hours. And then I'll look at the statistics and then decide what I should do after that. So on this case, I'm going to keep it below the demand zone. We target a 1, 2, 3. And this looks like it might be the last trade for this month and also for this live stream. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we can end up with a winning trade. Let's see what happens. No, we don't. We end up with a losing trade. So let's see if there's any more trades that can happen. No. So we ended the month. So we did 1 month of back testing. Obviously, I was a little slow with the back testing because this is my first stream on OBS. So I just wanted to see what happens. So we have 1 winning here. So let me note it down. So 1 winner here. Let's get the text tool. So we make the assumption here that we're risking 1% per trade. So 3% gain here. We have a loss here. Minus 1%. Then we have minus 1%. Oh, over here, we took a winning trade. We have 3%. We have 3%. We have, again, 3%. And we have minus 1%. That's all the trades, right? So if we add that up, so it's 3, 2, 5, 4, 7, 10, 9. So total gain on percent risk. %. Win rate. Let's see the win rate. So we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. So 7 trades, winning 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 out of 7 trades. So this would be considered a good month. This wouldn't be happening every single month. The 4 out of 7 trades is approximately, we'll round down, 57% win rate. So this month of back testing, we had 7 trades, 7% gain, 57% win rate. So even this is considered a good month. It was a 57% win rate, and we were able to extract 9% from the market. And this is just because I had a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio, and it was a set and forget strategy. I'm not putting my SL to break even. Let's see what would happen if I put my SL to break even. If I put it to break even at 1 hour. So I would have saved a loss over here. I would have saved a loss here. I would have not gotten this profit. And maybe I would have saved, maybe I would have saved a loss here. So maybe I might have just made more profit if I put my SL to break even at 1 hour. But I'm happy with the set and forget. And I think it was a good month of backtesting. Any last questions you guys have for me? I'm going to give it 10 seconds. We streamed for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Wow. Okay. That's a long time. Any last questions? Let me know. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. Let me know, please, if you have any more questions. Before I head off, we will do this. We will do this daily. Make sure it's a daily thing, so I can make sure I'm more interactive with you guys. Maybe streaming might be better also during that 10 to 12 period. I know maybe it's an odd time to stream right now. I just wanted to do it now. And also I'll figure out how to put the chat box on the stream itself, so it's more nice to look at. Okay, we've got a couple more questions. Do have to head off soon. So, Spider-Man, how much one should risk in funded account? 1 per trade? I'm going to assume you mean 1% per trade. Honestly, that's an open question, and it depends on your number of losses you have in a row. So that's number one. So if you lose 5 trades in a row, that could happen, and it can happen in 1 day. If you risk 1% per trade, you'll hit your daily drawdown. So 1% would work. But also, the way I think about it is, how many losses in a row am I willing to take before I blow this account? So let's say you have 10% overall drawdown. Are you happy with having a 20 loss buffer, losing 20 trades in a row to blow your account? If that's the case, your risk is 0.5%. So you got to think like that. Don't think about how much money you would make. Think about what you're willing to lose in order to keep the account, if that makes sense. So like 0.5% on a 10% drawdown, overall drawdown, is great. That leaves you with 20 trades in a row you can lose. So think about it like that. Hope that helps Mr. Spider-Man. The one and only Ramsey. Cool. I like your name. Hi, Sean. What a days with you when you started Gorilla. I started with you. Now I'm profitable. I just want to say thank you for those first good days. I appreciate you, man, and I'm happy you're doing well. Are you still trading Gorilla? I'd be very interested to hear that. Yeah, really appreciate you following me from the beginning on my journey. So that's great. That's great. Any last questions? Please let me know. This was a brilliant month of backtesting. Let's hope the next few months will be good. I'm going to continue this backtesting session with you guys. Or should I do it in my own time? No, I'll do it with you guys on stream. Pardon me. Any last questions, please let me know. Drink some water. You gotta, going through losing streaks, I'll tell you, it's completely normal. It's completely normal, so I just want you to know that. But you gotta figure it out for yourself. You also have to realize, are you in the right stage to take prop firm challenge? Or do you just want to make money? Think about that first. No, I don't. It was just, this is from Ramsey. No, I don't. It was my first profitable strategy. Now I have kind of my own, you can say, because, experience gives you perspective. But those first days of you backtesting, man, I really missed them. I appreciate it. And, man, I'm going to be backtesting I'm going to do live streams like this, backtesting. But I'm also going to do live trading as well. Back in the day, I wouldn't really do things like this, like live streams. And I think it's a better way to kind of connect with you guys and actually answer your questions and, just really become a good trading community. And that's what the prop scaler is. I don't know if you can see the bottom of the stream, the prop scaler. So I plan to, I've already interviewed a couple of traders, some well-known traders in the space. So it'll be free podcast, free trading, education, community feel, kind of like this. And I just want to give value to you guys. Because prop firms in particular, the reason it's called the prop scaler, is, trading prop firms is a whole different ballgame. And, dissecting each prop firm and their rules and maybe a cheeky hidden rule, I want to be that bridge that really helps if you have a prop, like if you want to trade with Funded next. What questions do you have? I'm happy to answer them. So that's kind of where the prop scaler, the name came from. Because most of us don't have capital to trade with prop firms. We just don't. So I think prop firms are the way to go, but we need a community to really get us from 0 to $1 million, or to 2 million, 3, or whatever your goal is. Maybe 0 to 10K. Maybe you don't have any money and you just want to get 100K in funding and get paid out $3,000. That would change your life, especially if you're from Asia, from Sri Lanka, from India, these countries. It can change your life. So that's the purpose of this this free community, the prop scaler, which I'll be launching very soon. I remember the first time you passed phase 1, I passed after you, then the account was my first one, then you closed. By the way, how's your prop firm's journey? I just came to live. What strategy back? Yeah, I'm just about to close the back testing because I got to attend to some personal stuff. But in short, I was 7 figures, as you guys know. Made over 100K prop firms, which was great. I went to start current prop traders. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. Got acquired by Sway Funded. Everyone was taken care of, payouts, things like that, which is great. Now, I was still funded 7 figures, but then those prop firms closed down. My Forex funds, hopefully they come back. My Forex funds, Smart Prop Trader, True Forex funds. So now I'm rebuilding my capital. Currently funded 100K with FTMO, taking 100K, fund the next challenge, but I am down on those accounts. So I've realized that maybe I should limit, as I'm evolving in my trading, I'm limiting what I'm trading, and I'm also going to be back testing a new strategy on EU and NASDAQ because volume and trading sessions has become more important to me. So AU, I'm going to trade this liquidity sweep, and EU and NQ1, I'm going to trade a new strategy during the New York Open and their London session time. So I hope that helps. What strategy back? So basically, I was back testing a liquidity sweep. So I look for a range, liquidity sweep, rejecting onto a demand zone or supply zone, then I enter. So that's the strategy. Cool. I've got to head off, guys. But I really appreciated the stream and talking to you guys. I'm going to make this a daily thing. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And also, again, I am streaming on the Funded Next Discord server tonight. So if you want to join that, that's at 10 p.m. Aussie time. So cool. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys tomorrow. Or if you join, Funded Next Discord. See you guys.